whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on and about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, this commenced a criminal proceedings in the same judicial division in the case of State and Colonel Ali Akiru and Lieutenant Colonel Ege Togun, in charge number ID so 4C-88, I have no belief in the allegations contained in the criminal information in contravention of Rule 4E of the rules of the professional conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Council of the Bar, pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15, as amended, and published as Government Notice number 69, Federal Code of Nigeria Official Gazette number 5, volume 67 of 18 January 1980. And you have thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner, putting the intendment of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and thereby allowed to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended. And 2. That you, Mrs. Fawehinmi, being a legal practitioner and the person whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on and about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, did proceed to present arguments, observations, and comments in the case of State and that State versus Colonel Ali Akiru and Lieutenant Colonel Ege Togun, in charge number ID so 4C-88, in a manner other than Gani, in contravention of Rule 4C of the rules of professional conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Council of the Bar, pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and published as Government Notice number 69, Federal Code of Nigeria Official Gazette number 5, volume 67 of 18 January 1980, and you have thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner, within the intendment of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and therefore liable to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, can pray that you, Mrs. Fawehinmi, being a legal practitioner and the person whose name is on the roll of the legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on and about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, did deliberately and with intent to pervert the course of justice, failed to call the attention of the learned trial judge in the case of State and the Colonel Ali Akiru and Lieutenant Colonel Ege Togun, in charge number ID 4C-88, to the amendment to Section 342 of the Criminal Procedure Law, Chapter 2 Laws of Lagos State, by the Criminal Procedure Amendment Edict number 7 of 1987, which dispense with the consent or direction of the judge before an information is verified. In that, the said Edict number 7 of 1987 was drafted by you and duly promulgated into law by Governor of Lagos State, David Michael Kaya Ibe, on your advice in contravention of Rule 4B of the rules of professional conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Council of the Bar, pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and published as Government Notice number 69, Federal Code of Nigeria Official Gazette number 5 or 67 of 18 January 1980. And you have thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner within the intendment of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15, as amended, and therefore liable to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act, number 15, as amended. Count 4. That you, Mrs. Fawehinmi, being a legal practitioner and the person whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on and about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, by replying to a preliminary objection to an information filed in the case of State and Colonel Ali Akiru and Lieutenant Colonel Ege Togun, in charge number ID 4C-88, Did proceed to assault, attack and degrade their witness, Chief Gani Fawehinmi, who was duly served a hearing notice to appear on that date in a manner that is patently advantageous and beneficial to the accused person. When he said the witness had not been declared a hostile witness by the court, thereby acting in contravention of Rule 20B of the Rules of Professional Conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Counsel of the Bar, pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and published as of issue as government notice number 69, Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette, number 567 of 18 January 1980, and you have thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner within the entitlement of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and therefore liable to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended. And 5. That you, Mrs. and your family, being a legal practitioner, and the person whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on or about the 22nd of February 1988, and the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, deliberately failed to properly arrange before the court the accused persons to which, under an earlier accused, and Lieutenant on A.K. in the case of state versus Colonel accused, and Lieutenant on A.K. in charge number ID/46/88, 8 said accused and token were charged on an information, and which information you filed in court with murder of the regular in contravention of Section 210 of the Criminal Procedure Law, compared to laws of Lagos State. When you are duty bound to uphold the said Criminal Procedure Law, and thereby acted in contravention of Rule 24 of the Rules of Professional Conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Counsel of the Bar, pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and published as Government Notice number 69, Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette, number 5, Volume 67, of 18 January 1980. And you have that thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner within the entitlement of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and therefore liable to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended. Count 6. That you, Mrs. in your family, being a legal practitioner, and the person whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on or about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, this completely conduct yourself in a manner that is contrary to the public interest content of your office as the Attorney General of Lagos State. During an argument in the case of state versus HRVIC and Lieutenant on A.K. in charge number ID/46/88, contrary to Section 191 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1979, and thereby acted in contravention of Rules 21 and 24 of the Rules of Professional Conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Counsel of the Bar, in pursuant to the Legal Practitioners Act, number 15 as amended, and published as Government Notice number 69, Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette, number 5, Rule 67 of 18 January 1980. And you have thereby misbehaved in your capacity as a legal practitioner within the entitlement of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and therefore liable to be disciplined in accordance with provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended. So, as you, Mrs. Fawehinmi, being a legal practitioner, and the person whose name is on the roll of legal practitioners in Nigeria, and the Attorney General of Lagos State, on or about the 22nd of February 1988, at the Kenya Judicial Division of Lagos State, in the case of state and Colonel HRVIC and Lieutenant on A.K. in charge number ID/46/88, did misconduct yourself in a way that gave an impression to the public And the proceedings of Monday, the 22nd day of February 1988, in that case, was a prearranged affair, a ruse, a legal challenge, which impression is capable of making the ordinary citizen of Nigeria to lose confidence in the due administration of justice, and thereby bringing the public odium, opprobrium, and disdain, the learned and noble profession of law, thereby acting in contravention of rules 21 and 24 of the rules of professional conduct in the legal profession, made by the General Council of the Bar, to refer to the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and published as government notice number 69, Federal Republic of Nigeria official Gazette number 5 on 67 of 18 January 1980, and we have thereby is held in their capacity as a legal practitioner within the judgment of Section 91 of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended, and therefore now to be disciplined in accordance with the provisions of Section 10(1)(a) of the Legal Practitioners Act 1975, number 15 as amended. Dated this 4th day of March 1988, signed Chief Gani Fawehinmi for service on this in the Oputa, Attorney General of Lagos State, Minister of Justice, Lagos State Secretary, and outside.
My Lord, the then Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Bola Ajibola, never allowed this complaint to see the light of the day. He colluded with the FRC. He was Attorney General of the Federation. He did not behave according to the provisions of the Constitution that he should consider public interest, public justice. The murder was committed while he was the Attorney General, and his compensation was to be seconded to the International Court of Hague, and today he's our ambassador. What type of irony? And what a country. My Lord, I said about Gloria Okon, I would like to tender this document so that your Lordship will see how Gloria Okon named a big man as involved in the courier business. It was published in 84, 85. And I wrote the documents here. And Babangida never denied a word about this. Gloria Okon named a big man, and this was published in newspapers. She was alleged to be murdered. Inquiry was set by Buhari, and the report is still in the pocket of Babangida today. When he took over power, he never allowed the report to be published anywhere. My Lord, I seek all these newspaper cuttings. This is more than meets the eye. That's why they just want to give a dog a bad name in order to kill it.
Yes, what exhibit is that? Publication? What publication? Yes, yes.
My Lord.
There are 9 documents.
Attached, oh, 5.
9.
All right, one by one.
National Concord, dated 26 April 1985. National Concord, 26 April 1985. 85.
It'll be 38.
My Lord,
let us mark them first, Chief. Want to tender them?
Yes, 38.
National Concord again, 27th April 1985.
That's 9. Oh?
39.
National Concord again. Dated April 1985.
14.
Nothing more. You have to stop somewhere.
Okay, yes.
my Lord.
Times. Dated April 1985.
41.
The National Concord again. 4th May 1985.
The accord is only one say there's no civil accord.
Number?
42.
That's my love, this is the Bunch. 7th June 1985.
43.
Yes, my lord. The National Concord. 7th June 1985.
44.
Yes, my lord, places. National Concord. 5th July 1985.
45.
That's my lord, places. National Concord. 26 September 1985.
46.
We have to stop somewhere.
My Lord, in conclusion, I want your Lordship, sir, this commission, as we have rightly said, in series of cases that the justice of society. I want
Use the
your
microphone.
Chief.
Just we're recording what you're saying.
I want the commission to recommend,
Prayer.
yes, sir, to recommend to Mr. President that if this tribunal is to have a meaningful effect on the polity and to ensure stability of legal system of this country, and also to compel all institutions to perform their duties, not to the president, not to the functionaries, but to society at large. I want you, sir, that the Inspector General of Police should be compelled to reopen the Delaware file, the Delaware case, so that witnesses can be called, interviewed, and a real trial will begin. Happiness today, none of them has any immunity. My Lord, September 1973, you have a president, a man called Augusto Pinochet of Chile, seized power and murdered 2,850 people for a period of 17 years. He was all in all. His word was law. After 1990, he promulgated a law that gave him immunity. Today, that immunity has been removed by the Chileans. Charges have been filed against him, and in the House of No Decision, we were told, House of No Decision in England, that he was not above the law. In his hometown, just December 2, December 2nd, and I will leave the Daily Times of London, the Times of London. This man was arrested, was ordered to be arrested by the High Court of Pinochet and the High Court of Santiago, that Pinochet should be arrested and the file of all those murders should be reopened. I think the Times of London and also leave the Daily Mail of London, December 2nd. If this will happen to Pinochet, the former head of state, more than 20 years after he had committed his murder, there is what matter to be a fresh one. I do not know the evidence Sam is coming to him, but I know that there was no investigation by the police who should do the investigation. Engineer did not do his job. Whoever did not do his job, he was not a participant. invoke in his last letter. In the name of God, that I swear to this morning, and I say in the name of God, all those who are involved in Jennifer's murder, whether they are many of them are unknown today, and those who are known, will never escape the curse and punishment of God Almighty.
No, cross-examination. You're not. No, you can't go. No.
Witness, you haven't finished. You haven't finished. You haven't been cross-examined.
We'll take time for
But let me see. Before cross-examination, you just made one request.
Yes, sir.
I thought you made more than that. The request is that Dele Giwa's case should be reopened.
Yes, sir.
You refer to Pinochet's case as a case in point.
Yes, sir.
What about institutional reforms, either in all the departments you now say, or would you like to give us a write-up
I will give a write-up
on institutional, your suggestions on institutional
Yes, sir.
reforms?
Institutional reforms.
Please, that is very urgent.
I will make a summary of what I am going to say.
No, give us a write-up.
I will do so, sir, but let me say this before I leave, sir.
All right.
There can never be an institution to be obeyed when that institution is not created by the people. We have never sat down to create the constitutional framework for this country since 1914. 1914 we got imposed one on us. In 1922 we keep one imposed one on us. In 1946 our bishops imposed one on us. In 1951 Mark Party imposed one on us. In 1960 James Robertson imposed one on us. In 1963 we made a complete in 1960 constitution. In 1985 Abacha wanted to impose one on us. In 1989 Abacha Diya tried to impose one on us. They completed the good combination and put up the system. Then Abacha re-established his own. In 1994-95 and promised when he brought the two governments together on June 27, 1995, and there was the deputy. I sat there and promulgated into law by the 1st of October 11, and everybody was business as usual. My lord, what we are saying in this country, until we have a sovereign national congress, until all the corporate clubs of this country come together and sit down and discuss how we are going to live together, how the masses will not be cheated, how economic rights to housing, to food, to education, to health, to water, to electricity, to good housing, to security of our property, to good communication, to good transportation, and make fundamental rights that can be challenged any kind of law. This country will never go to disaster.
We'll take a date for cross-examination, sir.
I think we cannot take the cross-examination today. It will take more than a day. We promised you 3 hours. We'll see how far we can go with your case. When we are done for cross-examination?
Tomorrow morning I'm ready, sir.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Have we got many cases tomorrow?
Tomorrow is fully congested.
I see.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday?
Thursday, my lord.
Thursday?
Thursday, my lord.
All right.
Even if it's Christmas Day, we shall be here.
Thank you very much. In addition to asking for the sovereign national conference, can we have your idea about some interim reforms? I know this will be the reforming the structure, the essential structure. In the meantime, as an interim measure, if you can give us... No, I want it written.
Yes, I do so, but the most relevant is to allow Nigerian people to form their political parties who want to sustain the democracy. We should not have any report of them. The way that Dr. Obama, to retire from the wrong book, is telling us now that it's going to send in an act, a proposed bill that only legitimate the one Nigerians come to two parties and expect that politics is about interest.
All right, let's have them.
So my lord, politics is about interest. And here we have in Israel, a small country that was founded in May 1948, they have more than 30 parties, India have more than 85 parties, Indonesia have more than 50 parties. Why should three parties be imposed on Nigerian people? You can form a party, even the religious party, you can have a party that is only sectional, you have a party that deals with a particular interest. For this national thing we are talking about, national party, you have parties all social federation is an invitation to impose dictatorship. And if that is going to happen, I fear for the success of this national democracy. Because I think they will have that nation be brought back by the year 2003.
Thank you very much. So cases are adjourned to Thursday for cross-examination.
Yes, we are next.
Petition 696.
Petition number 696 Bacha, Lieutenant General Oladi Diya. Petition number 696, Lieutenant General Oladi Diya. Please.
Chief, look, Chief should allow us.
Petition number 696.
Leave quietly, please. Quietly, please.
Lieutenant General Oladi Diya.
Microphone.
The petitioner is present. Please silence. Please silence.
Yes, we were on cross-examination.
Manu, let us allow this.
My Lord, the Chairman, and distinguished members of the Commission, I appear for the petitioner and appearing with me, Lord, my learned friend, Mrs. Getty Onoha, Mr. Tayo Fulani Douglas, Mr. Diya, and Similola Diya. I appear for Major General Diya, not a respondent, it's not a petition.
My Lord, please push them. Why
I appear for the commander Mustafa. I will introduce my name. Only because CEO Akambo. I'm trying to be Lord is Bala in Nagala for the commander Cameraman, please. The other one.
Yes.
With profound respect, distinguished members of the Commission, I appear for Major General Patrick Newton Aziz. Appearing with me, my Lord, is A.B. Ukoso Esquire. My names are Princess Monica Akira, A.K.I. Ara.
Yes.
With profound respect, my lord. Marcel Abukule appears for the commission. With me, my lord, Mrs. Chim Wendo and Mr. Emmanuel Akaka.
Okay.
Respect, my lord. My name is Dr. Wilson Sandal. I appear for Major General Bashir Magashi, retired.
The two of them.
With all respect, Lordship, Chairman, distinguished members of the Commission, I appear for Alaji Mohammed Sani Alaji. My name is
Thank you.
Respect, my lord, Chairman and honorable members of the Commission. I appear for Regional Council to Ibrahim Yakasen. My name is Ibrahim Buba. Appearing with me is my learned friend Wahid Yusuf.
with the greatest respect, my lord, Bala Ibn
Oh no.
I appear for Air Vice Marshal Idi Musa.
Junior. You're junior.
Profound respect, my lord. I am Wanisi Michel. I am appearing for General HRVIC.
Excuse me. No, this is not working.
Make the point.
Can we have the following council approach the, I don't know what I call this chair or seat, just approach the high table or chair. We'd like to get from you one or two things. That is Chief Shafala, Council for Mustafa and Council of Bami, please, and then Council for the Commission. Let's approach the bench. Can somebody remove this chair? Remove this. Remove this.
Do we switch?
So that they can have a...
Can we switch this thing off? Yeah, I can switch it. Can it be switched off?
We have some problem with getting these two security reasons. We'd like to hear them. They can't. We want to case they have here. Yes, with these two witnesses, if they're giving evidence. Who? Mustafa and Bami. It's not easy to get them to Abuja.
Any reason why they don't do it here? Why should they go to Abuja?
No. We want to hear them now.
We should be able to hear them now.
Yes.
We should be able to hear them now.
Suspend the cross-examination and hear them. Otherwise, cross-examination told us in 2 days.
Very well.
I don't know whether you mean it.
I think that is reasonable. It's just reasonable.
Get them here.
Let's take them because of the reason given by my Lord, so that they don't need to do the
It gives a lot of trouble taking them to security reasons. If you can keep your cross-examination short and
we come to the same thing.
up to the point, because many of the points you're making have already been made by your friends. Whether he is second in command has been made 4 times. And still everybody starts, you're second in command. We know that.
What problem?
They say they don't find it easy to bring them up.
Let's go straight to the subject matter instead of dragging it unnecessarily.
They brought that aside from Abuja to here. Why can't they move these people? Bambo told me that the Supreme Court will be arriving later this afternoon to take Mustafa because of the nature of the evidence is going to be. I'm holding before him and I say so.
You don't want us to suspend cross-examination?
Please go with cross-examination. By the time we finish, I may arrive himself, but he went to Supreme Court to pick up the ruling. And the neighbor can say,
if people don't agree, after today I transfer property to Abuja.
Yeah, let's go to Abuja.
No. They clearly bring them to Abuja. The first time we called for them, they said no. No. Security purposes.
I think it's better we extract whatever we can get from them.
Yeah. Do what they want to do. Yakasa was not from Kuje prison to here. Why did they?
Please don't talk like that. We are lawyers.
That will not solve the problem.
We are lawyers. The security said they will not send them to Abuja.
Security situation.
Yeah. And make it short. Make it short. It's going to be pure for me. You don't want him called. No. He's coming to say his own side. You see? And this cross-examination should get short.
The cross-examination we cannot finish today.
One of them told us to spend 2 days. Dragging it much unnecessarily. It's not necessary.
This was dragging too much.
Microphone.
Who was cross-examining before?
Just 1 point, my lord.
You see,
the chairman and distinguished members of the commission, before we proceed with the proceedings, I want with respect to make a very, very serious complaint. The newspaper called this day in the issue of Saturday, December 9, 2000, in a banner headline, reports, and I quote, report falsely and maliciously, and I quote, Diya admits paying 1 billion naira into his account. That is the heading. I know it's done deliberately and maliciously, but this type of thing is not allowed. I'm sure the reporter is here. If it's not, I'm going to move that the summons should issue to the editor of this magazine or newspaper to come before you and show cause why he had deliberately, falsely and maliciously to write this type of thing when it never happened. I know the law.
The reporter here, this day, is the reporter here. What about the name? I think the name is there. The name of the reporter must be.
Yes, sir. Ahamefula Ogu and Ufot Essien. Ahamefula Ogu and Ufot Essien. If you are that's one. What's your name?
Oh, come here.
Come here.
You can go. You see, some of them are not impossible. It's not impossible. There are 2 of you. There are 2. The names indicates 2 people. There are 2 of you. Who is the other one?
It's one out of the first person.
You have a part where you record what was said, or you just memorize it and report off it. Have you got a part so that you will refresh your memory what you wrote down in your part? We know what you wrote down and have a verbatim report here.
My Lord,
did they say he paid it into his own personal account?
My Lord, the word personal is even missing in that story.
Oh. There's no personal there.
There's no personal written there.
His account.
Yes, his account.
His account.
Yes.
Yes, but
What does that mean? What does that mean into his account?
My Lord, it has to have personality. His personal person and his office. And then that report says,
look, we will not go into detail. You can tell me. But if I never do it in my life, I don't know where you went to school. I don't know where you went to school. What are your qualifications as a general reporter? What qualifications?
I was trained in mass communication. I have
Where?
higher national diploma from Federal Polytechnic Group.
That's all.
And I have taken an MBA program also myself.
All right.
And what
Please issue a warrant for him to come and explain. Since he doesn't want to apologize. He wants to show me what it is, means.
No,
issue a warrant.
Okay, but no, I was explaining, if the story is real, the headline, the way newspapers work, the headline just captures the story but does not tell it. So if the paper is read, my lord, it is explained there that he answered that he paid it into the account of the CGS, not his personal account. It is contained in
Why would they say his account? CGS is not his account.
Well, my lord, the reporter doesn't have the responsibility of casting the headline. All you do is that you write your story.
So we want to invite the
editor. My lord, I'm surprised at what he wrote, my lord.
We have too much time.
Very well.
Personally, before this commission, I don't read newspapers. I don't. It's no use, it's a waste of time. I said that 2 in the morning, dark 4 in the afternoon, falls in the evening. You don't check up the news at all. You just rush to the press. Sensationalism, that is very, very wrong. So please, if you are going to report what happens here, be careful to report what we said here. The order about the Mrs. Diya, I never said they should give them back their property. That's what people reported. I said the man should produce them to take tomorrow. So produce them on Wednesday to make sure that they are still existing. When they are produced, they will make an order where they will be kept. Nobody said they should be given to Mrs. Diya. No.
My lord, I'm sure it's not my paper that I reported.
I don't know, your paper did something to check up on that.
Just warn him. In the meantime, may I ask that this newspaper be ordered to correct the...
Don't go away. That's all the message we have. Listen to what he's saying.
I sir, that this newspaper be ordered to correct the wrong impression that's given to the public in the same banner headline on page 1 of the newspaper on 3 consecutive issues.
Do you hear that? If you don't do it, then we can then do what we can do from this end.
Because he's not speaking the truth. His write-up says, former Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Diya, yesterday at Justice Oputa Commission investigating human rights violations in the country, admitted directing his former finance officer, Lieutenant Commander Sheikhan, to pay 1 billion into his account in some banks in Abuja. So the headline agreed what the law. And these are the people who are running down this country. Very lie, falsehood. It's a very, very serious matter.
It's all right, and you heard the message. The council wants you to correct that impression in 3 installments. Otherwise, you apply to us, and we will take action as allowed by law. Yes?
We do respect, my lord. I'm sorry because I know we are pressing for time. But what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. My lord, there is a publication here in Guardian newspaper, page 16, December 10.
Against your client?
Well, my lord, against the whole purpose of your finding.
Don't worry, that's against us.
My lord, if I can just read it, I'm sorry. With due respect, I bow. My lord, it is that Mustafa claimed that General Diya and others convicted for coup plotting in 1997 were truly guilty. Then this was the journalist. evidence from most of the major players in the event points out the fact that the coup was a phantom one concocted to ensnare those convicted. The men were also badly tortured by Mustafa and his boys to extract confession from them. It's not the last portion, but the fact that this commission has arrived at a decision that the coup was phantom. And Lord, there was no witness. That's what they're saying here, Lord.
That's what I arrived at the conclusion.
Well, that's what I've just read. That evidence from most of the major players in the events point out the fact that the coup was phantom one.
Did you mention that the commission has arrived at the conclusion?
No, my Lord. My Lord.
Please, let's go on with the question.
What I'm saying.
Please, let's go on, please. Overruled. You didn't mention the panel there.
My Lord, I'm not saying the panel, my Lord. They are saying that the major players, there's no witness from our side who has given evidence on the coup, my Lord. The only witness who has given evidence is General Diya. But the impression anybody will read is that the witnesses have all agreed that the coup was a phantom coup. That's what I'm saying, my Lord.
All right, okay. Can we go on, please, with the What is it again? You have lost about half an hour. What are you there for? Oh, go. So take editor.
My boss, please. I want to seriously object and to request that a formal apology be made by the editor of that newspaper this week. We are talking of personal.
You have rights, you can sue them.
I have.
You can sue them tomorrow. Yes? Yes, please go on. In the spirit of national reconciliation, in the spirit of this commission. Sorry, have you announced so that they recorded?
Ibrahim Kuba, for Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Yakasel.
Yes.
In the spirit of national reconciliation and in the spirit of this commission and the events of last week. Pardon me, sir, if I am blunt with my questions. I do not intend being rude.
Don't make speeches. Ask questions so that we make progress. Don't make speeches.
Sir, the 4-point demand that was presented to let General Sani Abacha, was Dr. Yakasai part of the 4 points demand?
No.
Did he accompany the people who went for the 4-point demand?
No.
As you believe the coup was phantom, you also agree it is wrong for him to continue still serving the jail term that he's still serving.
That I believe that he should continue serving the jail term.
Do you agree that since the coup was phantom and of all the 27 coup plotters, all were pardoned, you agree with me it is wrong for him to still be serving that jail term?
Maybe you don't know that Colonel Yakasai's case is different from coup.
Listen to my question.
I am answering your question.
Yes.
Yakasai was roped into the phantom coup because they wanted to get rid of him for one reason or the other. Anybody that is roped into the coup, there is a reason. They just want to get rid of him. But General, the Special Investigation Panel released him and said there was nothing. But he was still brought back because they still wanted him for something. And that was why I now know that he was charged for stealing. So it's a different thing entirely.
Thank you. So, my question is it proper for him to still be serving a jail term as a result of the filing
of the just SMT, in your opinion?
My Lord, I have said it. Coup is different from stealing. They brought Yakasai back after he had been discharged on the issue of coup. They just wanted to get him in. They robbed him for coup. And after he had been discharged, the authorities were not satisfied. And they brought him back, and he was charged for stealing. Stealing now is different from coup.
Thank you. Who are the major actors that you said that were still in the PRC of your time that are still serving in this government? Can you help us name them if you know any?
I can't remember saying so. What did I say?
You said members of the same PRC are now in this government. Did you say so? Do you remember saying so?
I can't remember saying so.
Oh, you can't remember saying so?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, what was going to be the effect of the 4-point demand that was tabled before late General Abacha if he was to refuse them?
If he was to refuse them, Bamayi and Co will explain that. But I believed, and I was too sure, that really, when they were going, I believed General Abacha would never refuse. Because if you refuse, who is left? Do you know those who went? The Chief of Defense Intelligence, Director of Military Intelligence, Chief of Army Staff, GOCs. How can, what would be the source of his strength if all these people were really genuine and they really went for that presentation sincerely and wholeheartedly? But I never knew it was all a fake something. I never knew it was a farce.
Now, were these 4-point demand ever tabled before a full PRC meeting?
No.
Aside from the letter that you saw?
No.
What about the issue of Abacha inviting you to be his running mate? Did you inform the PRC?
Look, I was telling you of personal conversation between me and General Abacha.
Yes.
And in any case, General Abacha had, on another occasion, sent me to find out the views of service chiefs. They are here. If they fear God, they will speak the truth.
No, I'm saying, was it tabled before the PRC?
I said no. These are personal discussions between me and General Abacha.
Okay. Are you telling the Commission as serious as all Nigerians know led General Abacha's self-succession bid? The issue was never, ever raised in your collective meeting of PRC.
That's what I've just said. I'm saying the same thing, that you never said so openly.
Will I be right, sir, to say that all of you in the PRC, with due respect then, when you knew and all Nigerians knew that there was that intention for General Abacha to succeed himself, all of you sat down there and never raised the issue, that all of you then contributed to the problem then by refusing to even say anything in your ruling body?
So you start saying something that was not raised. You start saying something that had never been made official. All Abacha did throughout, I'm not sure even after my arrest, yes, I never believed that he even came out to say to anybody that he was going to run or he was going to self-succeed himself.
So therefore, the 4-point demand that you asked them to go and see General Abacha over, even though it had that issue, you did not believe in it, did you?
In the 4-point demand?
Yes, in the 4-point demand. One was Abacha should discard self-succession.
I did. I wholeheartedly supported it. I've never denied that. I've never at any time denied that. I support it.
Okay. Now, you said last week too that you were not, in answer to the council to Major General Aziza, that you are not a member of the AFRC during IPP's regime. Do you still maintain that stance, sir?
Yes. I was a member of AFRC for some period. When I was appointed the commandant of the School of Infantry, I was member of AFRC. When I was commanding the division in Jos as General Officer Commanding,
I was a member of FRC. After I left that command, I ceased to be a member of the FRC. That was my explanation.
I see. Now, the same Aziza, when you went with him in a car, he said you discussed coup, and it was impractical. So is it true the vehicle you went in with Major General Aziza was a long-wheel limousine that you drove in?
It was my official car.
Long-wheel limousine.
Okay, long-wheel limousine, yes.
With special facilities for 2 VIPs to sit down in privacy and talk?
No privacy. The drivers are there. Driver, Audley, myself, General Aziza. There is no compartment dividing us from the drivers.
How big was that limousine, sir?
The normal limousine, you should know.
The type the presidents use?
Oh, I'm not a designer. You know limousine car. Eh?
You see, sir, I understand the limousines, the number 1 and 2 used in Nigeria, the ones we see, they have enough room for people to discuss, even though there is a passenger and a driver. That's why I want the commission to have that, you see, what against what. We want the commission to get the idea of the limousine you are using.
My lord, the limousine is a normal limousine car. There is no compartment, there is no division. There is nothing you will whisper or talk that either the driver or the orderly will not hear. All I'm saying in this panel is that I am not a stupid man. If I want to discuss coup, why should I discuss coup with General Aziza inside the car? That was the beginning of the conspiracy.
Okay. Sir, did you ever receive a letter from Brigadier General retired David Bonaventure Mack in 1994, whereas you were in government?
I can't remember that, and I don't know what is the relevance of this to human rights abuses on me.
You never received the letter?
I can't remember.
Did you ever read about the letter he wrote to you also in the papers? And he published the letter in 1994.
I've replied to you. I can't remember, but if there is any, you can refresh my memory.
Now, look at this letter that was published by David Mack in the TSM magazine of April 1994, particularly pages 16 and 17.
There's no point showing me. I don't read TSM. I can't even remember.
Have you ever seen that letter?
No, I've never seen any letter. But if you refresh me, if you tell me what you need in the letter, you know, we can go ahead and talk about it.
That you betrayed them after you people threw away Seneca.
Betrayed them in what way?
You betrayed him in the course after you agreed to overthrow Seneca and establish June 12, you veered. I
have told you there was nothing like overthrow.
Madam, I seek to tender the TSM magazine. Last was Exhibit 12, my lord. Well, page 17.
Exhibit 30, isn't it?
Yes, my lord. Listen to what David Mack said there. Lieutenant General Diya, MNI, Chief of General Staff, GHQ, Abuja. Dear General, I have been on leave and also waited patiently for 3 months since my retirement in November 1993, hoping that you have the decency and honor to inquire after my welfare. I must say that I am disappointed not only because you failed to make contact with me, but also that you have embarked on a campaign of calumny, slander, and blackmail. I am surprised that after we had spent sleepless days and nights planning and discussing how best to move the country forward democratically together, you reneged on the agreed political and democratization plan, turn around to stab me at the back, and take the nation steps backward. Haba General, there ought to be honor even in professional betrayal. You simply behave as if there was no yesterday and there will be no tomorrow. Worse still, you naively believed that your present position gives you a license to distort history. No, General. You will find out that not even you, the almighty and infallible CGS, have that power. That is why in my book, I will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it is the true story of how you betrayed the man who defended you, even at the expense of his own career at a time when sticking up for even an innocent person amounted to taking a grave risk in our profession. You know anyway that I will always tell the truth, so that should not be news to you. This letter is specifically for 3 reasons. 1, you will recall that I loaned you money at Abuja when you ran out of funds to pay the contractors building your house. I collected that money from my sister and niece. I hope that asking you to repay the loan direct to them or to me will not amount to an offense against the state or asking the overnight Messiah for too much. Mind you, I am being very careful here not to offend Oga, now that whoever gets there becomes a saint, while the rest of us mortals are the best incarnates. 2, you know that I respect individuals not because of the ranks on their soldiers, but because they are human beings. You know my stand throughout the numerous meetings that I arranged in the guest house and in my house, viz. the welfare of the ordinary Nigerian on the street and the good image of the country abroad. You will recall that I maintained the same stance after the coup, much to the discomfort of some of you, my colleagues. It is now obvious that you and your fellow betrayers and renegades have taken the nation for a ride and completely off target for selfish reasons. It is also clear to me now that you desperately wanted me out of the way because with me around you, you could never toy with the future of the nation as you are doing. Thirdly, I should have known when you told me that the Yorubas will do nothing for money, will do anything for money and appointment, that you are also a Yoruba man. I thought that you are genuine, sincere, and propelled by the spirit of patriotism, like most of us. I was too carried away by my patriotism and love for Nigeria and Nigerians to notice your duplicity. It was not because I lacked the intellect to understand the intrigues you were engaged in. I can vividly recall your comments that I do not know Nigerians well. I believe you know that I do not. Otherwise, how can anyone explain the presence of the die-hard June 12 apostles like Jakande, Onogoro, and the CD group in the present administration? The virtual phase was simply electric, too fast for me to understand. I must apologize that I never argued with you that day. There were too pro-June 12 to be bought over. Now, I stopped there. Was your attention, in all honesty, ever drawn to this letter in circulation in the Nigerian dailies as number 2 in Nigeria?
It's not important enough to attract my attention.
No, I'm saying, my question is, was your attention drawn?
David Mark was my deputy in the National War College. I believe we had an excellent relationship. I doubt if he will ever write this type of letter. And if he did, it was his own personal opinion. He had every right to express himself in whatever form in any newspaper. In any case, my attention was never drawn to this, and it wouldn't have normally attracted my attention. It's too insignificant and infinitesimal to attract my attention.
Sir, you told us you believe in June 12. Did you ever make this statement, sir, that Abiola, in his elective MQ Abiola, in his efforts to claim the June 12 mandate, was a joker? Did you ever make that statement?
It's impossible. I gave an interview in TED as far back as 1994, and I made a statement that I stand by June 12th, not on June 12th. That's two different expressions.
My question is, did you say you never made that statement?
I never did.
Do you remember in June 1994, you are touring the country. You went to Benin and addressed precisely, let me remind you, on the 8th of June 1994, you had a text of address delivered by the Chief of General Staff, Vice Chairman, Provisional Ruling Council, in your person, sir, on the occasion of meeting with traditional rulers and elders at Benin. Do you remember delivering an address to the traditional rulers in Benin?
I went around the whole country. I delivered speeches all over the country. Everywhere I made speeches.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And if you want to quote any speech out of context, you bring the original speech, not reported speech.
Sir, you know, Nigerians, masses, we only get information through the press. Now, in that speech, you are categorical that late Chief Emko Abiola was joking when he went to ask for his mandate. Did you say so?
I have told you I made so many speeches. If you want to quote my speech, what stops you from bringing the original speech? After making speeches, you give copies to everybody around.
Including journalists?
Not reported speeches. We have just seen an example this morning. We are, you know, a statement is being quoted out of context.
If
how
you
many
make
like
speech,
that can you?
Do you give it out to journalists?
Of course. Every speech I make, copies are given.
Have a look at this text of address by you contained in Tale of 28th June 1994.
And yet, the title of that speech is June 12th cannot be wished away.
Yes.
Is that not in support of my position?
Was that your speech, sir? Was that your speech?
June 12th cannot be wished away. Yes.
Yes. Why not I seek to tender tell
Exhibit 14.
Thank you, my lord. Now, sir, here is statement from exhibit. Here it is from exhibit 14, just one paragraph. Chief MKO Abiola himself gave us advice on the formation of a cabinet of men of timber and caliber to gain public acceptance. He even nominated some people for ministerial appointment. Again, he wrote to congratulate General Sani Abacha as the head of state, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and crown it by taking photograph with him as his recognized head of state. Having done so, having done all this, you can appreciate the surprise of this administration when Chief Abiola turned around to distance himself openly from the Abacha administration and threatened to declare himself the president of the country come June 12, 1994. I could not believe this, and that was what I said, that Chief Emko Abiola was joking. So did you ever make this statement?
This statement you are talking about is different from what you said earlier. Now, what I said there, Chief MKO Abiola, what I was saying, I don't know how it is reported. I have not said, I didn't say anything saying that you cannot wish away June 12th. And you cannot really wish away June 12th. I stand by June 12th, not on June 12th. Before we came in, we had very wild consultations. I don't want to be mentioning names here. Very wild consultations, and Chief MKO Abiola, I am saying, also nominated some of the ministers that served in Abacha's government. That is a statement of fact. That is a statement of fact. I don't see the relevance of that statement with what you are trying to say.
Was June 12 or even the release of Abiola part of the 4-point demands, General Sani Abacha?
I have given the 4-point demand.
Yes, June 12 was not part of it.
I have given the 4 points demand, and the 4 points demand was that one, Abacha should not self-succeed himself. 2, any officer of the Nigerian Army must have spent 3 years in retirement. October 1 must be sacrosanct, and no member of the Provisional Ruling Council should be allowed to contest election, and the Constitution should be promulgated.
Yes. Do you know, I guess, then Senator, now His Excellency, Bola Tinubu very well?
You've asked me once, I said I know him, yes, but not very well.
Okay. In all honesty, sir, did he ever give you a text of address? Did Chief MKO Abiola...
In what capacity will Tinubu give me a statement of address? Frame your question properly.
Yes. Did Senator then, Bola Tinubu, ever bring to you a text of address on how to solve the problems of this country by late Chief MKO Abiola, titled The Way Forward?
No.
Did you ever read in any of the Nigerian dailies while late Chief MKO Abiola himself stated so in interviews?
No.
Was your attention ever drawn?
Drawn to what?
To that statement that he forwarded, the text of how this country should be run?
Did he say he gave me the statement or what? What is the point?
He forwarded it to you, and thereafter you confirmed you received it from Senator Bola Tinubu and you handed it over to late General Abacha. Do you remember that?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. Maybe if I read it, will refresh your memory. What Chief MKO Abiola said. Before that, I sent him a paper, The Way Forward. My Lord, maybe I should tender it first.
There's no microphone here.
My Lord, may I humbly tender in evidence?
15, go on.
Yes. Please take Exhibit 15. It's the news magazine, my Lord. My Lord, this paper tell a lot of lies. So we have to be very careful.
I wish I just ended. He said they tell a lot of lies. And newspapers tell a lot of lies.
According to the witness, my Lord, and also...
But according to you, they don't.
They fought for democracy. Some of them were jailed for saying the coup.
Telling lies and you want to talk about democracy.
Yes. Yes. Now listening to him, this will refresh your memory, sir. This is what Chief MKO Abiola said. So if it is true, the way forward. So you see, when he took power, before then I sent him a paper, The Way Forward. He said I should give it to Diya. I gave it to Diya. I sent it through Senator Tinubu to Diya. Diya assured me he gave a copy. He gave the thing to him. But after his broadcast, when I saw him, he denied Diya ever gave him the thing. Okay, anyway, he didn't give him the thing. But you said you want to form that government. What type of government? He said he wants a government of big names. I said, what does that mean? He said, look at Jakonde, like Awolowo did, like Awolowo with Gawan. I said there was no election then. You can't have Hamlet without the prince. I was the one elected. There is no big name anymore. Until the next election, the only name is mine. It's like wanting to be a Christian without believing in Jesus. Or Paul was his good apostle. He wrote many epistles to the Corinthians, to Galatians, to Ephesians, and that, but he is not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ did not have to write a single epistle to anybody. Of course, Sermon on the Mountain, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall see God. And all that he was the apostle of God, he was the prophet of God like Muhammad, Sheikh Ibn Abu Bakr, at that. They are all very important. There is no big name in presidential politics, apart from the flag bearer who won the election. But the guy didn't want to be politically educated. So I said, let me call my people who supported me throughout the country and ask them whether they want me to abandon the mandate. So this statement read, were you at any time aware of it?
Look, I've made a statement. This letter, whatever you are reading, is belated. I said Chief MKO Abiola was part of us. He was fully consulted. We agreed, and he forwarded some names that are included in the cabinet. Simple. I can't remember what you are reading.
So you agreed with him before Shenekan was pushed, or before Shenekan resigned, or after?
You did what?
You said you agreed just a while ago with Chief MKO Abiola. My question is, when was this agreement with Chief MKO Abiola? Before Shenekan resigned or after?
Look, everybody was talking, everybody was giving suggestions, even the man who came here to talk now. We knew the party played, but nobody is ready to talk about all this.
Who's that?
Chief Gani Fawehinmi. So the fact is that when my book is released, yes, all these details to be given. But what you are now telling me is that opinions were being aired. Chief MKO Abiola, there was a period of crisis then, you know very well. And everybody was talking, everybody was giving his views, everybody was giving his own opinion. And I met Chief MKO Abiola on 6 different occasions. I met Chief MKO Abiola on 6 different occasions. This Senator Tinubu you are talking about, 1 or 2 occasions. There's no point going to details of all that now. And when Shenekan resigned, and we have to form this government, which we say will be very, very brief, we took into consideration various opinions, various suggestions before that cabinet was formed. That's what I'm telling you. And everybody had an input. Simple.
So how was that resignation of Chief Shenekan done? Was it in the night or in the daytime? The commission will know.
What is the relevance of this to the human rights abuses of men?
How was it done, sir?
Say again?
How was this resignation done? At night, in the day, or he called a meeting of ministers?
In broad daylight, yes, he resigned, and they gave the Chief of Defense Staff and Minister of Defense a copy of the resignation letter. Simple.
And only 3 of you are there?
Not 3 of us. The brigade commander, the what's his name? Colonel Gwadabi.
Yes.
They're all there.
Now, then after the resignation, you decided to dismantle every structure.
Are you now talking to me as a person?
Your group. After you took over, you dismantled his resignation. There was an interim government.
No, now you are now talking of a government.
Yes, there was an interim
There
government.
can never be a vacuum.
Yes.
And part of the Defense and Security Council provision then, yes, was that in case of any vacuum, the next senior-most officer, yes, must take over.
Yes.
And the next senior-most officer under that dispensation, yes, was General Sani Mohammed Abacha, yes, being the Minister of Defense.
And that law also provided that if you take over as the most senior minister, you should dismantle the entire structure.
Look, we are now talking of a government. General Sani Mohammed Abacha thereafter formed the government. Simple.
The formation included dismantling the entire structure outside the room. Is that not so, sir?
General Sani Mohammed Abacha formed the government thereafter.
Yes. Now, sir, after you formed the government, you see, we have a lot of problems in this country, a lot of human rights violations to Chief Abiola and to you. Problems are, personally, and to Nigerians, a lot of people, you want your land restored and your property restored to you. Our dilemma is, a lot of people, sir, you believe, died in the struggle of June 12, and their life cannot be restored.
A lot of people died, yes.
Yes, and their life cannot be restored. Today we are before this commission, sir, for your rank to be restored, and for this commission to redress you are beaten by sergeants and your property. Sir, in all honesty and on oath, I was perhaps a child then. From 1966, when Zegu first struck, up to all the coups, I can name them for you, but to save the time of this commission. Can you, sir, in all honesty, tell us if there was any single coup broadcast that stated one of Nigeria's problems to be constitutional, apart from corruption? Our hospitals have been turned into mere consulting clinics, tribalism. Was there any coup announcement that said the problem of Nigeria was constitutional, that necessitated your government to set up a constitutional conference?
You see, you are talking of a different thing now. If a government comes in and they believe that the solution to a problem, okay, why are we still talking of a constitutional conference? Up to now, as I'm talking.
No, national conference.
Yes, whatever it is, national conference, constitutional conference with full constituent powers, sovereign conference. Look, when General Bacha's government came in, the consensus was that we were not going to look for an ad hoc solution to our problem. We want a constitution that is fashioned out by the people, for the people. And we now decided on the constitutional conference with full constituent powers. Simple. But as usual, the Nigerian factor, the Nigerian elements crept into it again, and the sincerity of purpose which that government had was never allowed to materialize. The constitutional conference with full constituent powers was not allowed to take place. That is the problem, and that problem is still lingering. At the end of the day, we now had another constitution that was now forced on the people.
Sir, let me take you to the venue of the SMT trial in Jos. Now, do you remember making an opening statement at the Jos SMT tribunal that you had confidence in the General Victor Malu's tribunal, SMT? In your opening statement, when you said the masterminder of the coup and the executor, Major General Ishaya Bamai, was not around, you also made a statement that you have all the same, you had confidence on the special military tribunal chairman. Did you make that statement?
At the open ceremony?
Yes.
You are putting me a little out of context.
No, but
I said I had no choice. But looking at the caliber of the officer presiding,
yes,
I have confidence in General Malu.
Looking at the caliber of the officer presiding,
yes, that is General Malu, because I know General Malu, he served under me. He commanded the brigade for me when I was GOC at Enugu. That was my expression.
Yes. Even though he was wearing an Abacha badge.
Go and check him that day. He never wore a Abacha badge on the first day. Check, bring out the film. Bring out the film. He never wore a Abacha badge on the first day.
We will come to the film.
Good.
We'll come to the film. Now, did Lieutenant General Ishaya Bamai ever wear a Abacha badge, to your knowledge?
Yes, it's part of the deception he had for me. He never wore a Abacha badge.
General Bamai never wore a Abacha?
Yes, I'm saying it categorically. He never wore a Abacha badge, and it's part of the deception he had for me.
Hello? Now, Major Fajipe, did he become a born again while you are with him at Jos? To the best of your knowledge.
How will I know that?
When you were arraigned, did he...
Look, Major Fadipe had always been a good Christian, so question of born again.
When you were arraigned, did he plead guilty to conspiracy to commit treason?
Major Fadipe pleaded guilty. That's him.
Yes. He pleaded?
Yes.
As a good Christian, that you have always known him to be?
You are the one. I'm saying he had always been a good Christian. He has always been a good Christian. He pleaded guilty and said guilty with reasons.
Thank you. take you also to, do you know one Halima Bawa?
I don't.
Working with as a clinic.
Halima what?
Halima Bawa, Miss Halima Bawa.
I never knew her until she was brought to the tribunal.
She was brought to tribunal at Jos.
Yes. I never knew her until she was brought to the tribunal at Jos. Later, I got to know that she's a wife to Lieutenant Commander Shoeton.
Yes, she also brought in the sum of $1 million and 600,000 pounds sterling and handed over and said it was yours. Is that true?
You have come again. $1 million was money released officially to the office of the Chief of General Staff to purchase security cars. And those cars have not been purchased before the arrest. And the money was found with the finance officer intact because they wanted to jail Shoeton at all costs. He was charged for stealing, not me. He was charged for stealing, and all the evidences are used. He was discharged and acquitted.
Please, please, can you repair the mic? Okay with you, sir?
Very okay.
It is true. It is true that Halima stated that that money was yours. And that was why Shoeton was discharged on those allegations.
I am telling you now, if you are saying it, say it categorically so that I know all the actions I will take after leaving here. Because if you say something that does not belong to me, Halima never said so. It was money meant for a purpose, and they were found with the finance officer who was in legal custody of this money. He was in legal custody of this money. How can Halima now say the money belongs to me? It's impossible.
What about the 600,000 pounds sterling? Was it also brought? I
don't even know what amount of money was found with Lieutenant Commander Shoeton in his account. But Lieutenant Commander Shoeton was holding an official appointment, and all monies of the CGS office are in his custody. What are you looking for?
Sir, I put it to you, the money that was found on Lieutenant Commander Shoeton was raw cash in Ghana must go.
Look, if that is the case, why don't you ask Lieutenant Commander Shoeton? He's in legal custody of this money, and it is money for the office. And all this money were recovered intact.
There were people working under you, sir?
Many people are working under me.
Specifically Shoeton?
Shoeton is not directly under me. Shoeton is the finance officer of the CGS office. Okay. He's posted. He's from the Navy. I am in the Army.
Sir, do you believe on this coup issue thing that Major Fawehinmi will tell this commission the truth if he comes?
Look, Major Fawehinmi is entitled to his own side of the story.
Yes.
Major Fawehinmi.
Yes.
Major Fawehinmi's statement cannot bind me.
Yes.
Major Fawehinmi's attitude or belief, you know the type of torture you gave him, you know the type of promises you made to him, if there was any. So if Major Fawehinmi comes here and makes any statement, that will be his own statement. He's entitled to it.
I'll make it to Sir, I take it. On the day the 4-point demands were made, when you discovered other people were held, you said you went to let General Abacha to hold you responsible and release the others. Is that true?
That was what I said.
Yes.
That when it happened, and I was there, and Mustafa came in deceptively to say we are all under arrest and took these officers away. My impression was that they were under arrest. I felt for them as a senior officer because they came to me and they showed me the 4-point demand and I supported them, only to discover that the whole thing was a farce.
Yes, and then at that point in time, you sacrificed yourself, according to you.
You did what?
You sacrificed yourself that Abacha should hold you and let them go. Is that true?
Yes, I did. I pleaded. I said he should hold me responsible.
Yes.
Since they came to me and they told me, let them be released.
So, sir, you told us all along you stuck to that government. Even though you are courageous, you are not stupid. But at that end, you were prepared to go in for the worst. Now, sir, how can you reconcile that?
No, I didn't say I went in for the worst. Mustafa said the head of state wanted to see me. I didn't go voluntarily.
Okay, I'll come back to that. When you went, the time you went there, you were in a safari suit, brown, and white leather sandals. Is that true?
No, I was in the shirt I appeared with in the court. The shirt, I did not change dress. It was
short sleeve?
Short sleeve is a flowery type of shirt, yes, on a white, red in color, yes, on a white trouser.
Yes.
And it was on the 20th of December.
Yes. And when you went to see General Abacha, you sat down there, sir. I promise you, with due apologies, I will never be rude. But I'll be blood for this country. You also sat down with General Abacha on the chair. You were weeping, and he brought out a survey and he gave you tissues to clean your eyes.
If you are acting,
did that happen?
No. If you are acting a film, that's a different thing. You must. No. I have a book on how to tell lies with pictures. I can even give it to the commission for them to read. Look, that is a different thing. I went to General Sani Mohammed Abacha in a flowery red shirt. I sat on a chair adjacent to where he was sitting. I never knew anything was a setup or whatever it is. I discussed it with him, and the question they asked me was, Diko, why didn't you tell me when these boys came to you? And my answer to him before God Almighty was that, sir, how could I have told you? What are they telling me that I will say I'm not in agreement with it? Is it the self-succession? Is it the banning on the officers contesting? Is it on the promulgation of the Constitution? Or is it on the banning of officers from contesting election? What were they telling me that I am not going to support them? The only thing I now say, well, if you now discover that it is an offense, I am ready to stand in. All I'm pleading now is please release them and hold me responsible. If Mustafa does not alter that film and is not telling lies, and if he tells lies, different from what I'm saying, the God Almighty is seeing all of us. It's okay, no problem.
Il y a une seule question.
Sir, but you knew very well, sir, all the people that went to make the 4-point demand had troops and they were commanding.
The issue of troops never even came in at all.
No,
but please listen, let me explain. Yes. The issue of troops never came in. And, I mean, there is a proverb that if somebody is looking for you, you are not looking for him. You just leave him to God. I was serving, I was very innocent, my mind is clear. I never believed that any group of people can, at that particular point in time, be working to do anything that is not in the interest of the nation. Everybody was tired of the government, everybody was complaining, and all they are complaining is the self-succession plan. And if a group of generals who are members of PRT, Ishaya Baba is a member of the steering committee, Bashiru Magashi is a member of the steering committee, The Chief of Defense Intelligence is a member of the steering committee, in addition to members of the PRT. And if they now present a program and they say that, look, these are the problems, we are going to meet this man. What is he? Is he God? After all, we are all members and we are all going to be jointly held responsible if anything goes wrong. Let us go and meet him and we are going to present it to him. I was too confident that Abacha is a human being.
Yes.
There is no way he can refuse all these people. They, apart from anything, they are all part and parcel of his steering committee.
And those 4 points. And those 4 points were never within your contemplation in the PRC until unknown or anonymous junior officers wrote before you accepted.
You are not talking about me now.
No, you and the people who are going to make the 4-point demands, which you read.
Look, I have told you the trap. I have told you the trap. The 4-point demand was first brought to me by Idi Musa is here. Let him come here and lie. He first brought it to me in the form of an anonymous letter. And he was the one who told me that he was going to do something about it. That he was going to meet the head of state, he was going to do this, not knowing that he was lying. Not knowing that it was a trap. Simple.
Yes. Sir, you also in your petition stated that this commission should assist you to make sure your properties are released to you. You had an addendum also, but what are these properties? Why didn't you have an addendum for this commission to know those properties?
Look, I have just stated my facts. If properties are released, fine. If they are not released, fine. What God has done for me is even more than property. It's more than anything. But I've just come here to lay down my facts. Because we know today, nobody knows tomorrow. You can have a head of state tomorrow who will take this as a precedence and arrange a coup himself and start looking for people to implicate in that coup, only to execute them.
So
it is today we know, we don't know tomorrow.
So what are those properties you want and what is their value?
Look, I don't even know. Let me tell you the truth. Because they ransacked my house, they removed everything, including my pants. Even my determined, they removed them. My vehicles, they have removed. So what will I say they will return? I can't even list anything.
Do they include bank account?
Anything, whatever it is. At least I'm entitled to bank accounts. Am I not?
So among the property you are asking to be released. Please, my lord, I am craving the commission's indulgence. If something can be done to my microphone, it's epileptic. Okay. If you can give me your colleagues before. Sir, I put it to you that you deliberately avoided to put the asset you want released to you because you know very well Nigerians will be alarmed, including your bank accounts. As you put an addendum, nothing stopped you from putting those properties.
Because my no bank account is stopped. My personal accounts, where my salary is being paid is there. Yes. Where my law firm account is there. In fact, nothing about personal accounts, because the subject of this inquiry is not on bank accounts. So my bank account, there is no problem. But if you have anything which you want to say about my bank accounts, fine.
We will get there, sir. Sir, you also in your exhibit 2, your addendum, that to the best of your knowledge, principles of money laundering and transfers were not and are still not taught at the Nigerian Defense Academy or any military institute used by the Nigerian Army. Sir, may I ask, is the art of coup plotting, coup planning and overthrowing of the government being taught in NTA?
That's those who are planning coup. I've never planned one, so I wouldn't know.
Is it also taught in NDA so that this commission can recommend that course to be removed from the curriculum of the Nigerian Defense Academy?
I am answering your question. I don't know about that. I have never planned a coup. I've never planned one. So
not to the best of your knowledge, sir.
It's not taught in NDA. I've stated that in my statement.
It's not taught in NDA?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, you are very well aware of the intrigues and power places as far back as 19 94, when you started losing out. Is that true?
I don't know what you mean by losing out. I have told you that there had always been problems. In fact, right from the word go, right from day one.
Your problem started with Colonel Godabe.
How can I have problems with Colonel Godabe? Godabe is too junior to me to have problems with you, you know that.
Yes. From the word go, with whom did your problems start, sir?
Look, it's a government.
Yes.
The only thing is, when you have a government, you have your plans. Some people will try to come in to start disrupting the program of that government. That is what I am saying. Take, for example, we agreed, that time the PRC has not been formed. We agreed that the Security and Defense Council agreed on someone to be the secretary to the government. In fact, let me mention his name, Dr. Chikelu. I never met him, I don't know him. A decision has been taken. I have even called Dr. Chikelu. I have congratulated him in the presence of one Dr. Ayo, who was then the PAMSEC in the Ministry of Agric. Congratulated him, I've invited him to my house because a decision has been taken. Then the following morning, the decision changed. And his name was dropped, and Aminu Saleh was now appointed secretary to the government. I just give you that example. There's so many. So problems have always been there. But you believe that on the principle of collective responsibility, yes. Okay, you don't want to rock the boat, let us go on, and we believe that sooner or later we will get to the objective rather than rocking the boat and putting the nation at unnecessary crossroads.
But you still do not succeed in not putting the nation at a crossroad.
It's okay, that's all right. That is.
Now, are you seriously telling this commission, as number 2 in Nigeria, you are not reading papers and you have nobody reading papers in your office and reporting to you what was happening in the country?
Look, if there is anything important, my attention will be drawn to it.
Yes.
It's not everything. What is important to you may not be important to me.
Yes.
May not be important to government. You know, you just read one
Was
story.
your attention ever drawn to this publication? Has Diya lost out? As far back as February 1994.
Look, if there is anything there that is...
Has it? Show him, please. Has it?
You're just bringing all magazines and all. How many magazines are you going to bring?
You see, this magazine told us. This magazine first told us that the coup was phantom, and we reject them. You see, the first publication by the magazine was that this coup was phantom, and you reject them. Today we are hearing from you. That is why these magazines are very crucial to us.
Who jailed them?
Yes. You sat down and affirmed the sentence of Anyanwu and others who said this coup was phantom.
You are bringing us back to this 1995 coup. General Mujaperu, who tried this case, still came here to say that it was not phantom. We are still waiting for the recommendation of the panel, whether it was phantom or not. But I, on my own, yes. I said after the 1997 so-called coup, I now discovered that the same people who arranged 1995 coup were the same people who arranged 1997 coup. It's the same Mustafa, it's the same Bamayi, it's the same Bashiru Mongasha.
Just a moment, sir. May I not tender the news magazine of 7th February 94?
Somebody's
Do it.
You told this commission on the first day you testified that General MC Ali was a fine officer, and if he was involved in any coup, Major Mustafa was too junior an officer to know and handle the issue. Am I right?
No, that's not what I said.
Can you remind us what you said, sir?
I said General Mustafa, Major Mustafa is not kind enough to tell General Bacha to warn anybody that is found planning a coup. It's not generous enough to do that.
Yes.
So, and I gave my own reasons why I think General MC Ali was retired.
Yes. But do you also still remember the same you telling this commission that Kazir was retired because Major Mustafa fingered him in a coup?
That's another episode, and that's another incident. That's not MC Ali now.
But sir, I put it to you. Kazir's retirement was as a result of Colonel Fadile's statement, which he claimed that he contacted him, but he, Kazir, did not report to the Chief of Defense Staff.
Okay.
Is that true?
Okay, that's all right. I mean, Kazir was retired after General MC Ali. The wrong impression Mustafa gave when he was giving his evidence was to say that all those who planned coup and wanted to use Abiola as a shield, which was a white lie, were retired. You know, Kazir came in later and he was still retired. How many people are we going to count who are retired for alleged coup plotting through Mustafa? What of Olayinka Sule? Why was he retired? So many of them.
Sir, let me put it to you. The truth of the matter is that even though you took oath as a commission officer, as a general in Nigeria, to defend the country, and you are sending young Nigerians to go and die in wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone, you are not prepared to leave that power and then die for Nigeria. That's the truth. I put it to you. That was the truth of the matter. And this country was misled, and it kept draining until it came to you at all. Isn't that so? That's just the truth of the matter.
It's not true.
Thank you.
It is not true.
Thank you. What efforts? When you notice Abacha was not on course, matters as serious as the 4-point demand were not being brought before the PRC, there was no constitutional conference, and even when the whole nation knew there was no genuine transition, and you are still sitting. You are telling Nigerians there on oath that you are prepared to die for this country? Are you seriously on oath telling Nigerians that you are prepared to die for them? And you are not prepared to even throw out Abacha?
My learned senior.
Just like the verse.
My learned senior. I have told you this many times. I have explained. In the army, you don't resign. In the army, you are retired. If, for any reason, I'm asked to go, what bloody hell will I still be waiting for? But even though I did not go, I thank God that I didn't take that option. I've said it here. If I had taken that option, only God knows what will have happened to me. Despite the fact that I was arrested, I was chained to the ground, put in maximum cell, still, they were molesting my family. They were harassing them. They were molesting my friends. They were harassing them. They were looking for army officers all over the place, yes, wanting to harm them.
Finally, sir,
Thank
my
you.
learned friend and uncle, is it not true that you are the architect of your own misfortune?
Well, whatever you call it misfortune, I call it divine fortune. Because the way God has done everything for me, I think I owe him a lot of gratitude. Thank you.
You owe Nigerians most. Thank you. That will be all for him.
Douglas, find out if it's my learning senior so that I know how to find out whether it really is my senior so I know how to deal with it.
Silence, please.
My Lord, sir, for the records, I am YC Michael. My Lord, for purposes of explanation, Michael stands for somebody that is very handsome. I am cross-examining for General HRVIC. My Lord, sir, before I proceed with my cross-examination, I want to put my learned senior on notice for the petitioner that I shall be asking this honorable commission, or I shall be contending, my Lord, that the prayer for the restoration of the petitioner's rank be struck out for the following reasons. One, my Lord, that by virtue of the conviction of the petitioner, he automatically loses his rank pursuant to the Armed Forces Decree.
Are you writing a report for us?
I'm sorry.
My Lord, sir, I am putting my learned friend
If you are
on.
not writing a report for us, cross-examine.
No, my
We
Lord,
know what to do.
I should wait for the address stage.
My Lord, sir, I am being trained to
Overrule.
place
Go
my...
on with the cross-examination. At the end, you can address us.
My Lord, sir, I don't want the situation where my learned friend senior, sir, would say I've taken him by surprise. I want
him
to
by surprise.
My senior.
He's not going to write the report for us.
My Lord, this is
He
not
can
a...
ask for anything. We're not bound to give him everything he asks for. So leave that to us.
I am very, very sorry, my Lord, sir, but it is important...
If you listen, then go on. Nobody writes what you're saying.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
I'm sorry to interrupt. My learned friend is better advised to take the instructions from the chairman. When you say you should go on, you do nothing but you go on. That's no argument.
Thank you very much, sir. My Lord was asking for Zacchaeus. I would have said, if Zacchaeus was like me, you wouldn't have needed a tree to see Jesus Christ. I will continue, my Lord. Please, I want you to take a look at Exhibit 2, sir. General, sir, your attendant. Can you give him Exhibit...
No, it's okay. I know everything I wrote.
Yes. By a comment you made at page 3 of that addendum, you have provoked me into taking you up a little bit spiritually. You stated at page 3, and may I read, sir? Each time I look back at some events of my life, I feel very humbled, coupled with a great sense of responsibility. I have often asked myself, why did God spare my life? Was there any providential reason why I survived my ordeals? Of course, just like any mortal, I cannot claim to have tailor-made answers to these questions. However, as events unfold, some answers do come my way. Some of them I will be grateful to share with you today. For I come before this commission today, not as a petitioner, but also I see myself as a witness. Now, you would agree with me that there is nothing that happens that surprises God. Am I correct?
Sure.
And
God as a witness.
Well, sir, that is why I said we are taking God for granted. God is our witness here. Everything we say here, God is our witness, and God is eventually going to judge us.
Good.
Address.
Yes. And it also would not surprise people who are in tune with God. Everything that happens, nothing that happens that surprises God. Am I correct?
I say that black men must know there's a lot of work the commission has to do. The limited time that the proposal must be considered. I want to appeal to him to wait for the address stage before he addresses and to rely on the evidence that touches his client and let us make progress.
And it does not surprise people who are in tune with God. Am I correct?
Go on. Yes.
Am I correct?
Okay,
sir?
you are correct.
Now, you were surprised from the passage that I have quoted about the experience you went through.
Yes.
Now, I want to help you, sir.
Please.
The Bible says that the lying lips will not go unpunished.
Sure.
You are a witness before this tribunal.
Yes, I am.
And for you not to be ever surprised about your destiny in God, you need to be upright and truthful.
And you be truthful too, please. In the same spirit.
For you not to be surprised at things that happen to you, you need to be upright and truthful, sir.
I agree, and I'm appealing to you to do the same.
Yes, sir.
I have been speaking the truth right from the word go.
I want to plead with you most sincerely, sir, to help us by telling us the truth. Now, I want you to take a look at Exhibit 1. At page 2, you stated thus: while the details of the alleged coup plot are contestable, what are incontrovertible are the following glaring breaches of my fundamental rights and blatant abuse